Okay, in this video we're going to use PostTrans for Excel and Xero to extract contact information from Xero, edit it and re-import it back into Xero. Of course, the data could come from a text file, or it could be typed in or copied and pasted into Excel. And the great beauty of PostTrans is that it kind of gives you visual errors. So if there's any errors in the data, you'll be highlighted those cells and take you straight to the data, not like a normal CSV importer where it says, row 53 had an error on it. I chucked it out. So you can edit it and re-import it. So let's go to the example template that comes with PostTrans. Let's click on examples up here. And you can see there we've got an example that says contacts, brackets, customers and suppliers. So let's just double click on that and you can see we've already got some information in there. I'm just going to close the spreadsheet down behind it just to remove that from the equation. So there we have a template, and we can see in row 1 we have a series of tags. So PostTrans first of all reads this row and then it can decide, for instance, it says Xero contact in cell A1. That's always got to be there, and that denotes PostTrans then recognize that as a PostTrans template. And then it carries on reading all the other tags which denotes the data in each column. Now, some of this data is not required. It can be rearranged, so you could remove some. If you're bringing in a text file, then you might want to rearrange it slightly. You might want to delete everything and re-add them to the text file. But the important thing is we do actually have a tags button up here, which brings up an extra window that lists all the tags. And you can see there's a little bit of information on each tag and what it does. You can press the help button and it will show you what the tags are all about. Because the other thing is we would want to possibly select the Xero company we're going to deal with. If PostTrans is open for the first time, it'll ask you to do this, but I'm just going to go into the setup to explain where it is if you want to change it. See at the top here, it says here demo 01, demo company. I can actually, if I press Xero login, it will take me and Xero will ask to give authorization for PostTrans to talk to the Xero accounts files, so your different companies. I've already done that and it will do that automatically when you start to use it, but I'm just going to press change, and there you can see I've got 2 companies already listed. I'm just going to select the demo company and press OK. So that's the company we're going to deal with right now. So I'm just going to press extract just to show what happens when I press extract. It's just here asking me, do I want everything, or I could type in there anything that's changed in the last 2 days. So if I wanted, I could continually look at any new accounts coming into Xero and make sure they're correct. I'm just going to press overwrite and read everything in. So I've got 52 accounts and that's just read that into the template. So now what we can do is we can edit that information, and you can see here we've got a very strange number over here. Now that enables PostTrans to detect any changes. So if I just made a simple edit on one of those records, or 2 of those records, and maybe I want to create a new account, well, I could. And probably the easiest way of creating a new account is starting with an existing one and then editing it. And I'm going to give it an account code. We don't have to give it account code, but let's call it test me 01. Now PostTrans, when you input a transaction, it can match by company name or this account code or this contact number here. Now the contact number in Xero, I don't think you can access it within Xero. You can view it, but the idea of that is if you've got any external software, you can use that as the ID. So you've got the choice of using all 3. Now one thing to note in Xero, that the company name has to be unique. Anyway, let's put test demo here, and we could put Sam Smith and so on and so forth, as we'd expect. It also has postcode lookup and all that sort of business. Now I could also use in-cell searching, so anything with an arrow up denotes that we can do in-cell searching. So here we have got our sales nominal account, I do believe, and It's actually labeled. It's actually labeled wrong. It should say sales nominal account. But you can see there, if I press space and tab away, then I can select that nominal account. Now it's put in there 200, comma, and then sales. PostTrans would read 200 and use the simple code. So if you were bringing it in from a text file, you could have the actual nominal code in there. It ignores everything after the comma, and it just adds that so the poor human can understand what that account code is. For instance, if I space and tab away, I get everything that I'm allowed to put in that one column. Similarly, if I go to purchase tax, as you would expect, we see all our purchase tax codes. And if I type 5 in there, it will fill in 5. And if I type in 20, it will fill in 20% because it's matching by the start of the code. Same with the account code. So if I type in there 200, it knows what 200 is and it pops it in. This also works for the tracking and the invoice theme and all that sort of good business. Let's see what happens if we now bring that in. So we've edited 2 records, I believe, and we added an extra one. So what I'm going to do now is I press the import button. It's probably worth pointing out, I changed that company. That's saved with this spreadsheet. So since I saved that down, all the settings are retained within the spreadsheet. So let's press import. It's just going to pop up any warnings that I need to know, any defaults it's going to use, and press OK. Okay, so there it says it updated 3 records. Brilliant. So our new record should have gone in, test demo, and our updated one. Now, anywhere where there's a description with DBL on, if I double click on that, it will open that account within Xero if we're logged in a web browser. So I can go in and I could check that all the information was brought in correctly. Nice little feature. So now let's clear that data down. We're just going to press the clear button at the top there. It's just asking me whether I really want to clear everything out of the sheet, and I'm going to answer yes. Okay, let's just have a look at a few other things. So I can type in here if I want. I had a few accounts called test, didn't I? Test. I can just go in there and I can search for those accounts and I can pull them back into the sheet. So I can now edit them and re-import them. But of course I might have, I could also do that. That was by account code. There's another column here, so I could type in here the company name. So I should be able to, but let's demonstrate something else. Let's just go on this other sheet here. I've just created a simple list of account codes. Let's just move them into one nice long list. I'm just going to go back to my contact template, and I've got to make sure I'm at the top here. I'm just going to paste that list into the find column. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the extract button once again. Now it's detected there is a list in that column. So now if I press yes, PostTrans will pull out all of those 8 accounts. So now I can edit those accounts within Excel and simply press import to update them. So where this really comes into its own is that in the settings, and this will be covered in another video, is the ability to list a whole series of Xero companies. And the idea is you kind of build this template up and you press go and it updates those companies. So if you're in the scenario where you head into companies, you needed to do transactions between them and all that sort of business, you can actually maintain a long list of customers or suppliers and products and accounts in this template. You press import and it goes through the first. It connects to the first company, it updates that, then it connects to the second company, updates that, third company, and on it goes. So within 30-40 seconds you might have updated and made sure 10 companies, Xero companies, are all the same data in them.